Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are listening to LuvBay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio. It's the Sports Hour with Monali and Ingle here with you today. And we've got another jam-packed hour of sports to talk to you about. And so much happening, Monali. A lot of my time has been spent this week looking at the World Athletics. I'm not sure for you.
There's been a lot of sports everywhere, hasn't there? Between World
Yeah.
Athletics, baseball shocker with the Jays yesterday.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
Fo-
something else.
Following this following this India Australia game as well for the
Mhm.
women. 412 runs on it. Just lots of action to talk about.
Definitely lots of action. And the other thing that for the rugby fans, Canada beat New Zealand in the women's rugby semi-final of the World Cup.
Yeah.
And they await the winner of France and England. I think it's the first time since 2014 that Canada has gotten to the finals. So something to look forward to for Canada and something to cheer about. And
It's pretty massive to beat New Zealand in rugby.
it is. It is very massive. It was not expected, but it shows that sport on the day, and especially when it comes to World Cups, teams just step up a little bit more.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been 11 years since the Black Ferns' first defeat in the tournament to advance to the semifinals. Wow. So good for Canada to get there, and let's hope that they can beat whoever they get their way to France and England.
Mhm.
There's build up for that game coming up shortly, and let's hope Canada can win that game also. As you started the show, you mentioned Blue Jays, and as you know, we've been keeping an eye to see how the Blue Jays are going and if they're going to make it. Well, they will make the playoffs, but are they going to clinch the top spot? But they've been on a bit of a downward slide. 3 games
Yeah.
lost, and the one last night. Wow, I couldn't believe the score, 20 to
I
one.
couldn't. It was a shock. They should have just ended it.
Yeah, I was. Well, when I checked, I looked at the first inning, and it was 7-1, and I
Yeah.
thought, no, it's no way they're going to come back. But I didn't see a 20 to 1 coming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a shocker, complete shocker. And I suppose we talk about peaking at the right time too, isn't it? And
uh,
they've been on the up the entire time, and now when it's really coming down to the wire, I feel like they're gonna have to find that extra bit of steam to finish as strong as they started. But it's a lot of games, and
a
to
lot.
maintain that sort of performance throughout is not easy. I feel like they're running out of steam.
Yeah, I mean um, they were on a 6 match winning streak, and then
Hmm.
now they're on a 3 match losing streak.
Yeah.
So as you said, like it looks like they're running out of steam, but let's hope that I don't know. I just hope that it's not going to happen that way. And as I said, they'll get to the playoffs, but you don't want them to get to the playoffs when they're going downwards.
Yeah.
You want them to be still playing. So if they're going to lose, lose now, and then get back on the upward slope when it comes to the playoffs, because we do need some wins here. The city, and we need another celebration.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So let's hope the Blue Jays they can win today, and if they do, yeah, the good thing is the Yankees lost. Boston won the game. The Yankees lost as well. So I think that's good news. They're still 3 games ahead. Boston won, so they're 5 games ahead of Boston.
Mhm.
Coming down to the end of the season, so I think just let's hope that, as we say, that turnaround comes pretty soon for the Blue Jays.
I think anything will be a turnaround after the loss they had yesterday. 120 was a shocker. But it's the same team again today.
The same team, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and not good news either on the football front because the Agos lost also 21-19. So not good news for Toronto fans this weekend so far. So Blue Jays can turn it around, and then we'll have a mini celebration, and then the real thing in October.
That's
But
why you can't celebrate in the middle. Job's not done.
yes, just a little mini if you win the league. If you win the AL East, then you celebrate a little, and then you can say, okay, let's see what happens in the playoffs, and do we get to the World Series or not?
Yeah.
Um, a couple other things are ongoing at the moment. The qualifying for the Formula One had a week off last week,
Mhm.
and they're back on this week, and the qualifying is currently ongoing. I know Lewis Hamilton had a good practice, but it looks like Verstappen gets another pole again.
Yeah.
So it's not. Hamilton seems to be doing good in practices, but then when it comes to their time when he needs it, it's not going well. 'Cause he's down in 12th spot for this for their qualifying. So not a good thing at all. Verstappen over Carlos Sainz, and then George Russell is fifth. The two Mercedes are actually way down because Leclerc is at 10th and Hamilton is at 12th. So the two, sorry, Ferraris. I'm not sure what's happening with Ferrari because the times I'm seeing for Lewis are not even close to what he drove in practice. So I don't know how the cars change from day to day. Someone will have to sit down and tell me one day.
I was going to ask you that actually, because Lewis Hamilton said that he wasn't happy with the tires on that on the
Mm.
last round. So, do they not all use similar tires? Do they not change them around the same time?
They have a whole different sets of tires that they can use for practice, and then different tires they can use them either for the qualifiers or they change them. So maybe he had good tires in the practice runs, and when he changed over to different types set of tires in the actual qualifiers, maybe they felt different. But it's not the same tires that they use right throughout. They have a set of tires for the whole weekend when they swap them out during
This, um,
different phases. So, but yeah, he's not happy. Um,
yeah, he's not happy, but I just feel like at times, as someone who is working with a team of people, you're expected to make these qualifications. You're expected to get the results. And lately, he's been blaming the car quite a bit. He's now blamed the tires, and I just feel like he's.
I think, to be honest, I believe some of it is him. I think he's probably not comfortable with the new cars or something, but I believe some of it is definitely him. I don't
Yeah.
believe it's all about the tires and everything else that he says, but maybe the confidence is not there for whatever reason. So he's just not there as yet, and it's gonna take. I don't believe it's gonna happen this year. Maybe if he's comfortable next year, then we might
Mhm.
see. But other than that, I don't believe that Lewis is gonna. We're gonna see anything great from Lewis pretty soon in this Ferrari talk. Maybe if he stayed at Mercedes, because Mercedes seem to be doing okay. But we will see. You're listening to LuvBay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio, and we've got Monali and Ingle on the Sports Hour. And Monali, as I said to you, is looking at a lot of track and field. I don't
Mm.
know if you watched any yesterday, but yesterday was the men's and women's 200 meters finals and also 400-meter hurdles finals. And a little bit of a back and forth with the hurdles because, well, first I'll talk about the women's side. No surprise there because, Sydney McLaughlin chose to do the 400 flat, and we'll talk a little bit about that because that was the day before. But
Mhm.
Femke Ball, she won easily in 53.75. And Italian came through for second in 54.67 as Fulleranzo, and Vandenberg was third. So, sorry, in the finals, sorry, I'm giving the wrong results.
I was looking
Femke
at
Ball,
times, like
sorry,
they
Femke
don't.
Ball was first. I was looking at the qualifiers. Femke Ball was first, 51.54. Jasmine Jones was second. And Jasmine Jones celebrated really because I don't think she was favored to get there. I think Anna Cockrell, who was fourth, was the one that they expected to come through in the finals, but she didn't get a medal. She was fourth, and you can see the disappointment on her face. And then the third place was Slovakia, Emma Zapoltova, and she has a new national record. So some good times. I'm actually seeing some very good times on those that on the track. Uh, in the men's side, there was a bit of a controversy there because Rai Benjamin won, and then as he was sitting there, DeSantis was second, and then Samba was third. As they were sitting watching the women's, it came up that Rai Benjamin was disqualified, and there was a bit of a controversy there back and forth because he hit the final hurdle, and the computer said that he impeded the athlete next to him, but that athlete came fifth. But they were still saying that he got in the way. But eventually, I think the head judge overruled and reinstated Raya Benjamin as the rightful winner because I didn't see anything. Even the player himself, I mean, the athlete himself said he wasn't impeded by that. So he came through for fourth position, Nathaniel, but he said it wasn't anything to do with the hurdle. I mean, Raya Benjamin was way out in front, so it would have been a sad thing for that to happen. But hurdles, hitting the hurdles is not. I didn't realize that people get penalized for that until yesterday. Um,
I didn't know that until you just mentioned it, to be honest.
yes, I really was shocked when they brought it up and said that. I mean, when you looked at it, it's just a little bit of the hurdle that went over into the lane. But in no way did I see that it was going to affect anything that happened there. The other races yesterday that were noteworthy was the men's finals in the 200 meters. Noah Lyles, we know he talks
Hmm.
showmanship, and it's good for the sport, I think, because you need somebody like that. And there was no shortage of that when Noah Lyles on the field, on the track, and he proven. Actually, he ran in the semifinals in 1951, the fastest semifinals ever at the Worlds. And people were saying he ran too fast, he would be burnt out, he wouldn't be able to win. But he came back and ran very similar, just 19.52
Yeah.
and won. So Bednarik was second, and Brian Level, the Jamaican, who looked very good in all of the rounds, so from the qualifying to the semifinals. He looked good, but he actually, his third, he had a personal best. And the Olympic champion, Tibogo, he can only settle for a fourth position. Zanel Hughes, the Great Britain, the Anguillan who runs for Great Britain, he was in fifth. He had a season's best also. So it was a great race. And kudos to Noah Lyles, not just for winning, but equaling Bolt's record for 4 consecutive championship gold medals in the 200 meters. In the women's side, um, again, I don't think any surprise there. I mean, the way that Melissa Jefferson Wooden is running, I think no one can compete with her at this point. She ran a 21.68, which is a world leading. Amy Hunt, the Great Britain, that was a surprise actually. She was second. She came through for second and she ran very well. She was actually a fastest time qualifier, and she came through and she did very well. And Sharika Jackson, who looks like she's getting back to some form, she held on for bronze with 22.18. And Navia Battle, the other USA, was fourth. Dina Asher Smith, who had a great start, she ended up in fifth position. So we had four Americans, all Americans who went through the qualifying rounds, made it to the finals. And I think, you know, Melissa Jefferson Wooden also won the 100 earlier, and she became the first woman, I think, since 2003 to do the double at the Worlds. So what an achievement for that young lady. And I don't think she's reached her peak yet. So maybe at some point we'll see a world record. And the other person in that 100-meter finals that looked very good, and I was very impressed with her, was Tina Clayton. I mean, it was a packed field in the 100 meters earlier in the week. Yeah, Julian Alfred was third. She had a hamstring injury, so she pulled out of the 200 meters. Sherika Jackson fourth. Shakari Richardson, who came through the fifth, actually her season best 10:94. Shelly Ann Fraser Price sixth, and that was her last
Hmm.
World Championships. And what a career that she's had.
We were speaking about her a couple of weeks ago and
Yeah,
how she's still going. And I suppose she's finally called it time. But yeah, what a career.
yeah, she's been so good. And I just know that it was so good to see her. She went over and she hugged Tina Clayton, and it looked like just the passing
Mhm.
of the baton to the new younger people. And Tina Clayton's sister, who made it to the Olympic finals last year, didn't make it to the Worlds this year. So a
Yeah.
lot of thought that Jamaican sprinting was dead, but I don't think so. I think it's on the way back, and especially if you look at the 100 meters, you had Oblique Civil, who was I didn't have him to win. I had Kishane Thompson, and Usain Bolt predicted a 1-2 for Jamaica, and I think his prediction expected Kishane Thompson to win as well, because he said Kishane Thompson and Oblique Civil, but he would take it anyway. But they had a 1-2, so Oblique Civil, and then Noah Lyles was third. So a very good 100 meters too, and I think we were talking about last week, and we were speaking. We said, I think it's Atta Bolden who said, Oblique Tom's Seville normally have great rounds and then a poor finals, but he had a poor round, so he was hoping that it was the other way around, and he was correct.
Yeah.
So Oblique Seville came to the 9:77, and wow. Actually, Usain Bolt said if anyone is ever going to break his world record, he think it's going to be Oblique Seville. So that's some endorsement.
It's, I mean, coming from the great man, it doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't get better than that. And it was interesting to hear his interview to saying they were asking him what he's doing these days, and he talks about not training now, not doing anything, and not doing these things. And he said he even mentioned, which is a bit surprising, that he had difficulty sometimes just going up the stairs nowadays.
Yeah, I saw that, and I wasn't really sure whether it was fake news or whether it was actually real.
No, he said it, but I don't know if he just said it like, just to show how much he doesn't do any training.
Yeah.
But and the media took it to mean more than it really meant, and that's what I believe, because knowing Caribbean people, they'll say things, but the media probably took it a different way, and they
Yeah.
ran with it. So that's what I was thinking that happened. But yeah,
Because I mean, struggling to get up the stairs, I'm like, you're you hold records.
yeah,
How?
he said he
How
was
are you
gonna get back.
managing?
Yeah, he said he was gonna get back in the gym and do some training. So
Yeah. Just hit the track.
hit the track there just to, it's not easy, because a few days back I went to play golf and I was late, and I ran from the car to the first tee. I said, "Wow, walking and running is two different
You
things."
have to keep on top of it. It's such a
Yeah,
shock, especially here once we're in the winter and then we come back, and that first run in spring is very
yeah,
difficult.
yeah. I walk a lot, but then I realized, wow, it's a different thing to run
Those
than
lungs get tested.
yeah.
All of a
I,
sudden the heart rate's elevated.
yeah, I was so happy that the person teeing off in front of me was a bit late, so I got time to catch my breath. But yeah, it's really something that you have to do.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know what, when I get on, if I go out for a walk, I'm gonna do a jog between lampposts like we used to do back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jog, walk, and then get back to some sort of
Yeah.
jog.
Because they say jogging is also really good for bone density too, right? It maintains the bone density. Um, I really enjoy my running. I find it very mentally soothing.
Yes. It is seems that way when I see people run. I mean, I admire people, even though I see some people out there trying, and I said at least doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that happen.
But as soon as you get over the trying phase and to the phase where your body's eased into your running, it's just a good feeling, I suppose, to know that your fitness level is able to carry you through without you huffing and puffing the whole way.
Yeah, that's so true. Okay, back to the track and field and some field events. Because even the field events are interesting too. And yesterday, actually, it was such a good men's triple jump because on his last jump, Dalla from Italy went into the gold medal position, and he had a big jump of 17.64
Hmm.
meters. And then Pedro Picado, the Portuguese, he had one jump left, and he actually jumped so far. He had 17.91, and he was celebrating. I mean, the celebrations is something else because the guy with the silver medalist was Andrea was trying to congratulate him, but he was just so much consumed in the celebration and saying, "Who's the best? Who's the best?" And it must be a great feeling though because you were in leading position all of the time, and
Hmm.
then you missed three jumps. Then someone takes over the gold medal position, and then you can come back on your final jump
Yeah.
and do that. It actually, and the thing about it is, when you look at the wind behind them, the Dallavelle, the Italian, for some reason they said in the stadium he had the highest positive wind trailing him, a plus 1.5 wind behind him to get that big jump, and Picardo had plus point 0.5 wind and was able to jump that big. So they said the whole seat, the wind level was very low until those last two jumps.
It's insane, isn't it, that the wind can have an impact in something like triple jump or long jump.
A long jump, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just insane how they can go there and do
And
that.
you can't even control those things. It's either on
No,
your
you
side or
can't.
it's not.
Yeah, exactly. So the ones who had the negative wind must be to curse him forever.
Yeah.
But the wind wasn't in anything on the women. Didn't mean make a difference because the Cuban Perez Hernandez, she won with a 14.94, which is a world lead-in. And Tia Lafon, the Dominican who won the Olympic champion, she had a great last jump also, and she had 14.89 to finish with silver. And I think the story for me was Rojas, the Venezuelan, because she came back from injury, out for I think a year, and she was able to get bronze. So I was looking to see if she would come back and win, and that would have been a real story. But yeah, bronze. I think she will take a bronze after being out for so long,
Yeah,
and
it's on the
being able.
podium.
Yeah, it's on the podium.
Yeah.
And she is going to be back to her best at some point. And probably back to winning ways. Uh, there's so much track and field that happened this week, but just finally wrapping up this morning was the women's heptathlon. And the American Anna Hall actually won. She won the gold medal with 11, was it how many points? But she was first. Let me just be correct and not make a mistake this time. But yeah, she won actually. Anna Hall was the winner, the American, and this. I'm just trying to see the final results here. And
Yeah, Anna Hall, Kate
Kate
O'Connor.
O'Connor and okay, and Tyler Brooks and Katharina Johnson tied for third position and medal. Yes, correct. And on the medals count, I was looking at the Canada's medals, and it's one thing we are for sure Canada good in the field events and in the amateur because we've got two goals. We've got three goals and one bronze, and two of those goals are from the amateur, both on the men's and women's side. And Dunphy, who has been known for his plays walk, he won the 35K race walk.
Yeah.
You know, so those are the three goals for Canada, and nothing in the a bronze in the track. Yeah, the men's size. Arup, he was third in the 800 meters.
We had a really interesting conversation about this a few years ago. This is when Canada was part of Athletes Can, or
Mm-hmm.
not Canada. Cricket was part of
Cricket.
Athletes Can, and we had the 2-day conference in, I think it was downtown Toronto, and we were interacting with all the athletes from all the different sports. And one of the biggest complaint for the Canadian athletes to the Canadian government was we just don't get enough support. And you expect us to podium at these events, but the reality is we're doing it all out of pocket. A lot of us have put school on hold. We have loans that we have taken out to pay for our training, to pay for our travel. And then the Canadian government comes in and says, we expect you to podium. Well, what are you supporting for us to podium?
Yeah.
And there's a reason why countries like the US are constantly in the lead. You throw in there even China, depending on which sport we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of support from the government there.
Yeah. They started the Own the Podium program a few years back, and saw results from the winter sports.
Yeah.
And they're not putting enough money, I don't think, into the summer
No.
sports, and that's been the big argument from summer sports for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think you're so right. You expect. I mean, when you hear the stories of some of these athletes and
Hmm.
how they get to the games, everybody think it looks great because you're an athlete, you're a world class athlete, but they don't understand the struggles.
No, and a lot of them, by the time they're done their playing careers, have so much debt that they
Yes.
need to clear. And that's when they're going back to school because they've put that on hold with their training and traveling and competing. And the stress of it all just, it doesn't make sense. We want our athletes to do well at the highest level, but they're carrying
Mhm.
all this baggage as they go into it. Whereas, you look at our neighbors down south, and there's a lot of cash incentive. There's cash
Oh
incentive to
yes.
podium, and we don't have that same sort of support.
No, there's not. I mean, and yeah, the athletes they go and they do it for the glory, and they don't get
Yeah.
the money, as you said. Just to wrap up with the track and field, the world track and field, we have the medal count, no surprises. US on top, 20 total, 12 goals, 4 silver and 4 bronze. Kenya, that's a little bit of a surprise. Not really, because the long distance,
Long
yeah,
distance. But they've picked up some
six.
shorter distances this
They
year.
have actually,
Yeah.
yeah. So Canada is in third place, Netherlands fourth. So that's how it stands at the moment.
6 goals for Kenya is pretty impressive.
6 goals is very impressive for Kenya. Yeah. And tomorrow, I guess you look forward to if you the relays are going to be on tomorrow.
Mhm.
You've got a lot of finals. We got a high jump final, 800-meter final for women, 5,000 meters discus, 4x4 men, 4x4 women, 1,500 decathlon, 4x1, both men and women. So a lot of track and field still to go over the next coming days. Just think that's it for me in track and field. I mean, there's a lot more. Like the whole show could be track and field right now with the World Championships, but we got to talk about other things that are happening. And you've got some cricket, and like before, let you speak about the women. Actually, we'll start with the women because that score is ridiculous in the ODI.
It's the second time they've scored 412,
Mm,
Australia. And I mean, the women's game's changed so much, hasn't it?
it has,
I
yeah.
find it for entertainment value, I I feel like it's so much more entertaining. And don't hate me for saying this, but sometimes I find it very entertaining compared to even men's cricket because there's a bit more of a competitive edge all the way to the end.
Hmm.
Whereas with the men's game, I feel like, if you need 30 from 15 deliveries, that's easy. But in the women's game, there's a bit more of that edge until the very end.
Correct.
412 runs in their 50 overs. How many centuries have we seen in this game already?
Just the
Um,
one, actually. Two,
no,
sorry,
two
two.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Schmidt, yeah. Schmidt, that's a second century, right?
in
Schmidt.
Australia in the series. Yeah.
Mhm.
Beth Mooney continues to be an absolute gun. 138 off 75 deliveries. Smriti Mandana, you just mentioned it, second ODI or second century in three
Yes.
ODIs in this series, and
Hmm.
125 off 63. These strike rates for the Indian women are such a turnaround from what we saw them playing 2 or 3 years ago. I give so much credit to the Women's Premier League for this. It's changed the way they play. It's changed the brand of cricket that they play, and I don't think they're going to win this game. I think it's just a bit too much of their chasing,
That's
being
much,
6 wickets down. But
yeah.
this is a great fight. I mean, 267 runs in 30 overs is pretty incredible.
I mean, you take that any day,
Any day.
you
Yeah.
know, but you're chasing 412. Wow. If you had more wickets in hand, you probably think you're in with a chance. But
Yep.
at this stage, it's going to take someone to do something very special.
Well, I think the key was going to be Mandana and Harmanpreet Kaur, but once Harmanpreet Kaur
Mm.
fell, Mandana fell pretty quickly right after. One of those two had to see it through, and they had batting between Dipti Sharma and Richa Ghosh. I think the bigger problem for India now is finding a bowling combination that can keep scores from getting to 400. And they've tried a few different options with their bowling unit as well. I'm surprised they've stuck to 6 bowlers today, knowing that everyone's getting smashed. There must be some part timers in there.
So is this the second time in this series that they've gone to 400?
No, this is the
No.
second time in all time that Australia
Oh,
has
all
reached
time.
400. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because this. Oh, you're right. Yeah, 'cause this score is a little surprising. Could have been
Yeah.
282, 292. Yeah, and I mean, India scored 281 and Australia chased it down in 44 in the last
Yeah.
game for
Yeah.
2 wickets
And that's
in the
that's what I
first
mean.
ODI, sorry. And then the last game, India won.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. As I say, I mean, I think we've had this conversation before about women's game, and sometimes it's better to watch the women's game, especially for entertainment. If you want to see technical stuff,
Hmm.
and for men's or women's game, if you need, as you said, 40 in the last four or so, you're not sure if it's which way it's going to go. But the
Yeah.
men, if there's wickets, not even if there's a lot of wickets in hand, it's almost certain that the batting
Yeah.
team will get it. So definitely, it's something. Yeah, but this series has been so good.
Series has been great. Yeah. Tied so far. Australia's probably going to take this one, but very impressed to see the batting in this game.
I think it's not too long ago we were talking about India's batting and how it wasn't that good, and
Hmm.
then I said that WPL has made a big turnaround, and I've seen it not just in Indian players, but players in the Caribbean who have played in, like, I think it's Henry. Her last name is
Yeah.
Chanel Henry,
No, Henry. Yeah.
played in the WPL, and I can see a difference in her game as well. So the experience there is really, really good.
I suppose the women's CPL just finished too, didn't it?
Yes, and we can talk about that a bit. The Royals winners again. I think
Yes.
is it the second or third time? Is it?
I think it was the third time.
Yeah.
It's a record, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
There we go. Women's CPL.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
won
three peat.
23, 24, 25. Yeah.
Yeah,
Third consecutive win. Yeah.
yeah,
And without Haley Matthews this time.
yeah.
Yeah. She had surgery, I think it's on her shoulder.
I think so. Yeah, I think she um, saw a post about her recovering in hospital.
Hmm. Yeah, but Barbados, I mean, not, I mean, they're decent scores when you look at it. The Guyana Amazon Warriors, 136. But I think, and another thing that we talk about this so often, like, how does Stephanie Taylor keep playing and then having to get retired hurt in these games?
It's been going on for some time now, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
Like, isn't there anything that, some doctor, I mean, there's so much testing can be done now. You can know exactly what's going on
yeah.
and treat it. Maybe you want to stay out for a year or two if you have to. But she's done that actually. She stayed out for more than a year, but still
Yeah.
come back. I don't know if it's the same injuries over and over or different injury. If she's just injury prone.
I just feel like it's very difficult for a team. If you've got her in your squad, you're going to rely on her for her
Hmm.
batting. And every time she is unable to play, every I remember the Super 50, I think she only ended up playing one game this year and then she sat out for the rest of it. So that's a big hole in your batting lineup that you're missing out on. And the one game that she did play, she scored a half century, right? So she brings in so much talent and so much caliber,
Hmm.
but it's the consistency that you need as a team from whichever players that you have in there.
Yes.
And you can't plan as a squad if you know that there's a possibility she won't be able to play consecutive games for you.
Yeah, that is so true. And it's something that she's gonna have to decide on herself by herself as well. To does she need to go on like this? Because it's not a good look. Because it happens at West Indies level, every level she plays at. So it's not a good look, and she has to make that decision pretty soon.
But they were in India training, weren't they? The West Indies squad.
Yes, they were in India training for a while.
I
I
mean,
don't think the full squad though. I think
yeah,
more of the younger players.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the younger crop, which I think if they do more of that and start looking to the next generation, just prepping them a little bit better, they will have. And I don't think this is going to happen overnight, but maybe the next 2 or 3 years they'll have a proper squad again. They just really need to invest in that crop of players coming up.
Yeah, I think definitely for sure. And the CPL, good win for them. And on the men's side, I don't know. As I'm sure you're gonna hear a lot of it over the next day or two. It's curry goat versus or curry chicken versus chicken curry. I mean, I say curry chicken, but others say chicken curry. And I think Guyana and TKR definitely you're gonna have a new winner. Guyana's been to the finals so many times and only won once.
Yeah.
And is it good? And if I'm betting, I'm betting on TKR because they're starting to play well. Guyana is a decent team, but I think TKR right now are playing some very good cricket. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they have a chance of winning.
I mean, they're peaking at the right time.
Yes, and not just as a team, the individuals as well. When you look at Puran and those guys,
Yeah.
they are looking very, very good. I'm just checking how many times
They're
they've
both
been.
coming off of wins, though, eh?
They're both coming off of wins, yes.
Two
So
wins each in their last two games.
yeah, so this is their seventh. I think this is their seventh final, and they've won once in 2023. So let's see what happens. But if you look back at how they got there, as you said, they are both coming off of wins. Guyana, they beat St. Lucia Kings to get
Hmm.
to the finals, and that game was pretty interesting actually, because St. Guyana actually got to 147, 157.
Hmm.
I was watching the game and I actually turned off after a while because I didn't think St. Lucia Kings will even get close. But the Caribbean played a great innings of 15-29
Yeah.
because at one stage they were 7 down for 48 and then 8 for 85. So I thought that's just done. But they did well. But St. Lucia had a second chance and they played against Trinidad yesterday and last night, and Trinidad 195, 94 for 4,
Yeah.
giving them 195 to chase St. Lucia 138. Nicholas Puru 50, 58 to Alex Hales, Kyron Pollard 35, and he's having such a great season, Kyron Pollard.
It's just sad when I see all these West Indian names scoring runs and they're nowhere in the setup right now.
Yeah, and yeah, even for the IPL, someone was saying like, did they get rid of him too quickly out of the IPL because he looked like he's just playing the best cricket
Yeah.
of his life at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's going to be a great final tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I'm sure it's going to be a packed stadium in Guyana. It's probably sold out. I've heard some ridiculous prices for tickets, and it's just a ticket thing all over any event all over the world now.
Yeah.
Ticket, there's no set prices.
It's all about the demand.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken, I saw somewhere where what's it the parent company of Ticketmaster, what's it, Nation? They've been sued for price fixing. So it's
Are
not
there
so
laws
bad.
against it?
I don't know if there are any. Yeah, because I've seen it in every sport now. It depends on the
Hmm.
time of the day, um, the player who's playing. So yeah, Live Nation and Ticketmaster sued for working with scalpers to make millions on resale tickets. Wow, I mean that's crazy. So
It shocks me though that people spend some of the money that they do to go watch these events live.
I mean, yeah, if you don't get, yeah, even the World Cup soccer tickets on sale and they're crazy prices already.
They're
So
crazy prices, aren't there? I was like,
yeah,
it's right here in our backyard. We could go watch some, and I looked at the prices, and I'm like, this is
yeah, I was looking forward to going and watch a couple of games.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's just really, really crazy.
It would have been
Uh,
great to take the kids as well, and I'm like, I don't know, the
hopefully they
TV.
will have some reasonable price tickets at some stage.
They have auditions for the ball boys and ball girls to walk out for
Okay,
the anthems. I'm like, hey, maybe that could be
maybe you
my
get your
chance.
kids, yeah,
Yeah,
to do that. Then you get a free ticket to go and
that's
watch.
right.
You never know because you know what I went to do when I went to the U.S. Open. I met a lady who's sitting outside. So her daughter is a ball girl, and
She
she's
wasn't
waiting
allowed
for.
in.
No, she was
Oh
waiting
my
for.
god.
So you might have to drop them off and wait for them.
Wait outside for them.
Yeah. So um, cricket. We're getting close to the time, so we just want to get into the Asia Cup. No surprises there except for Afghanistan, I thought would have gotten through the first round, but they didn't. So we're now down to, I think, what do they call it? The Super Four, is it? I think that's Asia Cup. Yeah, they're down to the final four teams now, where Sri Lanka is currently playing against Bangladesh. They're
Yeah.
15 without loss. And of course, India, Pakistan tomorrow. We'll see how that goes, if anybody will shake hands or not shake hands.
How? I mean, I don't even know what to say about that, Ingle. Honestly, we're
I don't
talking
know.
about athletes at a sports event. We're not having political rifts. We're not having a war out there. It's a sport,
They said it came from their head of state that they're not to
which
shake
is
hands.
very disappointing to me.
Very
I'm
disappointing
very,
for.
very disappointed. There's no place for that in sport.
And then, of course, the match referee was Pakistan wanted him gone.
Yeah.
And he said, "Listen, I was just doing what I, so I'm giving you
That
the
was awesome.
message. I'm the messenger, right?
Yeah.
That you're not, but I don't understand. Not even shaking hands at a toss.
Yeah.
What's shaking hands gonna do?
And it just shows I disagree with it so strongly. I
100%.
think you've got to, when you're in a sport, you've got to respect the sporting culture of things. And I, anyway, I don't want to get into the political side of things, but
True. Not no no. But it's really disappointing though, because I would like to see what happens tomorrow because the athletes, you know what, and behind closed doors, I'm sure they speak to each other. They
yeah.
do, but because of the politics, they're not allowed to do certain things. It's going to be interesting to see when the World Cup fixtures come out. I guess
Hmm.
all of Pakistan games will be in Sri Lanka. Does
Yeah.
ICC have to make sure that happens?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. But we will see what happens tomorrow at 10:30. But Sri Lanka and Bangladesh playing now. These two played each other quite a bit recently, and Sri Lanka 24 without loss in 2.5 overs.
Hmm.
And watched a bit of Sri Lanka because Bangladesh recently because they have these two new youngsters who opened for them. It's supposed to be very exciting, but unfortunately, the game that I watched they didn't score any runs. But
No, it was last week we spoke about the two for none, none for two,
right,
none for
correct,
two.
yes, because it was similar to something we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, we definitely will follow this Asia Cup and see how it ends up. I expect. Surprised yesterday though. I don't know if you saw. I didn't see the game, but looked at the scorecard. I didn't expect Oman to get so close to India.
Hmm.
188 in their 20 overs, and Oman they were in a bit of a trouble early. Jatinda he had a painstaking innings, 32 and 33 balls, but then Kalim 64 and 46, and then Mirza 51 and 33. They got to 167 for four, and that must be some did a good world of confidence.
Yeah.
Good, for their confidence.
And that's what we
Mm-hmm.
want to see from these teams too, isn't it? To be able to get these exposures and make them count.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke about that. I think we speak about it every week. Just the more game time that they can get against quality competition,
It's the
the
better.
better they're going to get. And sometimes it's not really even skill; it's the mental aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely, it's the mental aspect, and yeah, because they're not gonna feel well. Hey, like, I mean, Bumrah didn't play, but you've got some of the top bowlers. You've got Ashdeep, you've got Kuldeep, Yadav, Axar Patel. So you're thinking you're playing against some of the best bowlers,
Yeah.
and you still got to 167. You lost, but you got close, so they're gonna feel good about
Hmm.
themselves. Any other cricket series that's going on now? The Women's World Cup is coming up.
Yeah.
That starts on Tuesday, next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's coming up quick, isn't it?
On the 30th, two
Yeah.
Tuesdays from now. India, Sri Lanka. Yeah, it's going to be um, good to watch. And all the teams, I'm sure, are ready. And India and Australia. Well, we've seen what's happening with Australia at the moment and India. So those teams are probably going to be the teams to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. The Zimbabwe Namibia series. Namibia actually picked up a win against Zimbabwe.
Yes, they did. I watched that game, and yeah, they did. They looked like they were going to get a lot more, but because they
Yeah.
started 17 for 4 overs, and then that was a good win for them. And that series, too, that World Cup qualifier starts on the 26th.
Yeah.
They have a couple of warm-up games next week, and then 26th. So it'll be interesting to see two teams come out of that zone. It's expect the favorites are Zimbabwe and Namibia, but remember the last time Uganda beat Zimbabwe, and
Yeah.
they didn't qualify. So anything can happen in T20 cricket. And Zimbabwe, they need to play better than they did in that last game if they're going to qualify. But I
Yeah.
find I don't know if you looked at Zimbabwe squads. They seem to be bringing back a lot of players, but the players who they're bringing back, they're not young,
Yeah.
So I just not sure.
It's a balance, isn't it? Are we going for experience or are we going for youth? And you've got to find that sweet spot because you still want to give exposure to your youngsters
Mm-hmm.
while having stability. It's I find a lot of teams go through very difficult transitions if they don't do it right. We've seen um I mean, I don't know. I feel like Australia may be going through a bit of that right now. We've seen Sri Lanka still suffer from that after the golden era that they had.
Yes.
And it's a tricky balance of knowing when to introduce and how many to introduce with time in your youngsters.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, because a guy like Brendan Taylor is 39, I think Raza is up there, 37, somewhere around there. So they have some players who are not going to be around for much longer, but I guess the importance of making the World Cup after not making it last time,
Mm-hmm.
they have to have their most experienced players and look for some wins.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You're listening to Love Bay Afrobeats Music Talk Radio. You listen to the Sports Hour with Monali and Ingle. It's about maybe 4 minutes to go, Monali, and just a few scores in the Premier Division. And Liverpool in the early game, 2-1 over Everton. Um, these game scores at halftime right now is Albion over 2-1 over Tottenham Hotspur.
Mm-hmm.
Burnley and Nottingham Forest 1-1. West Ham United 0. Crystal Palace 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. Leeds United 3. Manchester United played Chelsea at the late game today. A 5:30 game there, which is 12:30 our time, and then Fulham and Brentford play the game that's at 3 p.m.
So I'm
So
assuming you're going to watch the 12:30 game.
I will watch the 12:30 game and then I'll call Theo after. But Manchester United, they have their coach make some bold statement. The manager, they say manager, same thing. The coach, he said, they lost earlier this week in the Euros, and he said, Champions League, sorry, and he says, not even the Pope could make him change
Mhm.
his system.
Yeah, I read that.
And I'm like, wow, that's some strong words.
I mean, the man's willing to take on a person pretty close to God right now. So,
Yeah, he
yeah.
says he's like he's not he's sticking to whatever it's I think he feels that's what got him through, so he's gonna stick with it. That's what it's gonna maybe feel it's gonna work at some point. And he's not changing. If that's his how he feels, then how can you fault him for that? So
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
I know we've got a couple of minutes left, but
mhm.
Battle of Sexes is confirmed. They don't have a date yet, but Sabalenka said, "Yeah, I'll take you on."
Oh really? It's
Yeah,
confirmed? Okay.
no
Good.
dates confirmed yet, but I think the clash is on.
Definitely they're gonna play. Okay. That's something to look forward to. And just a quick update on the rugby. England are up 7-0 in the 22nd minute. So that's the Women's Rugby World Cup semi-final number 2, and Canada just await the winner. We're just about out of time. We've got about a minute to go. If you want to add anything else, we've got a couple of things coming up in Canada. We've got Canada Super 60 starting on
Mhm.
the 8th of October to the 13th. And I think you'll be going to the NCL. I'm not sure the date is the 3rd.
Yeah, October 3rd to the 13th. October 3rd to 13th.
Actually, I wanted to talk about something. I missed it, but 1 minute to go. Quickly, West Indies team for Bangladesh. To me, it's tricky one because a lot of the senior players have said ask for rest. and it's more like a development squad. And I said to some of my friends, I would not be surprised if in not Bangladesh, Nepal beats West Indies in this series, because it's going to be captained by Akhil Hussain, and you have names like Fabian Allen, Joel Andrew, Akeem Gus, Navin Badesi, Jediah Blades, Casey Carter. Kareem Gore, actually, who played for the US, is now making his West Indies debut. Jason Holder is playing. Django, Kyle Mayers, Obed McCall, and Raymond Simmons and Matara. I mean, Shamar Springer is also there. Not a bad team, but it's a tricky one because Nepal can be tricky
Yeah.
in the UAE. They're going to be playing at Sharjah. So, but the most of the top players are heading to India as West Indies take on India from the 2nd of October in the first Test match. And we are basically out of time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening to us. And as usual, have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and be safe, everyone.